let's get down to the hypocrisy of it all. And I was over the weekend. I sent you something that exposed the hypocrisy of MAGA, exposed the hypocrisy of Republicans, exposed the hypocrisy of Donnie. And you immediately texted back. Let me find it so I quote you exactly. You immediately texted back. Here we go. And Jarofsky Show live. Trying to find the Antonio quote. I want to get her. Oh yeah. It was. I had sent you Christy Nome saying something. How she was talking about how outrageous it would be if Joe Biden were to use her National Guard over her objection without getting her consultation. This is when she was governor of South Dakota, and of course Donnie is doing that right now in California with Gavin Newsom, and she's singing a different song. So I sent this to Antonio, and he responded, and I'm reading it now. I'm doing a dramatic reading of this text. Shakespeare. Democrats are the only ones that care about hypocrisy. I understand exactly the point you're making, but I don't believe it's true. Let's have a debate. I believe that MAGA I texted you this back, pretends to care about hypocrisy. And so that's one of the reasons why Abbott of Texas bust immigrants to Chicago, as if to say, oh, you're a sanctuary city? Well, let's see how you handle these immigrants. Huh? What do you think about that? And then that's why, oh boy, DeSantis in Florida, I got to get into this. He flew a bunch of immigrants. I don't even know how he got them. He recruited them from Texas, flew them to Florida, and then flew them. These guys are such doofuses. Flew them to Martha's Vineyard. Like, this will expose the hypocrisy. So I think everybody responds to hypocrisy.
But I mean, like, Democrats are the only ones that truly care about when somebody's being hypocritical, right? Whereas the Republicans are trying to, take advantage or use hypocrisy to get across a goal or a point or agenda or whatever it is that they're trying to do. They don't. I don't think they really care. They don't care if they said, like Kristi Noem. She obviously doesn't care that while she was governor, she said that if Biden, tried to send in the National Guard, that how that would be wrong or whatnot. She doesn't care about that. They don't care. They don't care that they said one thing one day and then turn around the next day and say something else. And people that follow them don't care. This is more like a cult following than anything else, because they don't care. They don't care that they're lying or to them. It's hard for me to explain, but they get some sort of satisfaction from seeing that. It's almost like grown men that watch pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. It's fake, but somehow it entertains them. It entertains, like you fall into this fantasy world and you're like, oh man, like so-and-so's the champion. I was like, yeah, but the whole thing is orchestrated. Oh man, that's not, you gotta see what's going on. You gotta see the theatrics and the show, the fireworks and everything else that's going on. They put on a good show, and that's how I feel. They look at it when they're going back and forth. Like they realized at some point that people don't really care about hypocrisy as much as the Democrats think they do.
Yeah, well, and you're right about that, and that's why I'm at a huge disadvantage when it gets to this type of when we're at this stage, because I like to think I have fixed principles, and you're really at a disadvantage if you're going to adhere to your fixed principles at a time when the other side just changes the rules, the game there. And again, I always use this as an example. Democrats play tennis as though there's a net and there's out of bound lines. Republicans play tennis as if there's no net and no out of bounds line. So it's a lot easier to play if there's you, you can hit the ball wherever you want. And I mean, I see that right now. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
And they refuse to adjust to any of that. I mean, like I think a lot of what's to the Democrats' detriment is the failure to adjust to any of that. I mean, and then I'm not talking about lying or breaking the laws or anything like that, but just adjusting to it so that you're at least playing on the same playing field and not playing by the rules while the other person is not. They want to color within the lines and refuse to color outside the lines while everybody else is just doing whatever they want.
All right, let's get some of the clips that you dutifully collected. Antonio's a great producer, and what is it, a digital strategist? So he's pretty good at collecting, to put it mildly, bits and pieces of the universe.
Yeah, and this is, I just want to say that this is a collective effort with Heartland Signal, and they're doing a lot. We're doing a lot of good work over there, trying to expose and try to not only expose a lot of what the right's doing, but also show the Democrats when they're taking a stand and.
Gotcha.
That's what these clips are.
So he's part of a team. Could you imagine if Donald Trump talked that way?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Donnie giving credit to someone other than himself.
I should have just taken it like, yeah, man. No, it's all me.
Just me at home. Sometimes my daughter helps me, but yeah, mostly me. So which one do you want to play? Both. I'll give you a choice. You could do Jasmine, JB, or AOC. Which one do you want to play? And producer Chris will respond. Go ahead.
Let's go with AOC.
All right, producer Chris, AOC it is.
But when they say illegal versus legal immigration, they are trying to end legal status in the United States as well. Correct, Governor Pritzker, with the end of TPS and making people undocumented by removing legal status, ending legal status, and then having the audacity to call them illegal when they were here documented, correct?
Taking students' visas away from people, taking their legal right to be in the United States away from them when they've been granted maybe years earlier to stay.
So I don't want to hear about how this is about illegal versus legal immigration. They are attacking legal status and removing legal status. The Republican majority is anti-legal immigration in the United States. And I want to make that very clear.
All right, that's AOC and J.B. Pritzker, Governor Pritzker, last week's congressional hearing. Now, when I hear that, Antonio, me, Ben, as being the rationalist who believes you should have fixed principles, who believes that you should abide by what the law says, am convinced. And but if I apply the way the world works, as you just laid it out, if you're MAGA, you don't even hear that.
Right.
So ultimately, how effective do you think that exchange between AOC and Pritzker is?
I think that exchange is important. Not, MAGA, I mean, whatever. If they listen to it and get something from it, fine. But if not, then we're still at the same place that we're at right now. But I think it's important for everybody else who's on the fence or who's unaware to know what is going on, because for those folks that are on the Democrat side who are like, well, we do have this problem, or we do have to do something about this. It's important to know that a lot of these, they started out by saying they were going after criminals, right? They're going after the hardened criminals, those people that were raping, killing, and doing whatever. And when that failed, they needed to bring in the numbers. And so the only way they can do that is by removing all these status that AOC was talking about, student visas, removing what is it, the oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. But they changed the rules and to in their favor so that they can then pump up the numbers and try to prove to everybody that they're doing something when they're just all they're doing is turning people who were here legally into criminal, or in their eyes criminals. Now they're here illegally and we got to get them out.
Right.
But people that don't know that will just see them as part of a group and think that they're all like part of the same group when they're not. Some of them are refugees, some of them are asylum seekers, some of them are trying to here on a visa. When this first started, Elon Musk was one of the ones who were like, wait, hold on a second, what about my people that are coming in to work on a visa? So it's
no, I know what they're doing. And this is the part that cracks me up, man, because in one way it's so absurd what MAGA does. It's so ridiculously obvious. And so, yeah, you're right. AOC was right. You have a system set up where you're quote unquote legal if you follow the system. And what Donnie and MAGA are doing is just perverting the system so that declare people who are legal are people who are illegal, and that justifies kicking them out. And here's the part about the MAGA response to that. And this is where it gets to your point that you made earlier about MAGA follows message. So, I watch all these clips, spend way too much time watching clips of MAGA people talking. And they say things like, well, this is the law. I mean, this is the law. You're illegal. That means already you violated a law. And then they get this like little smug laugh. Like, what? All of a sudden they're like Earl Warren or some great legal master of the universe. Oh, come on. And I watch these guys. I'm like, you don't believe that. I know you don't believe that. I know that if you believe that you're the victim of some overzealous interpretation of the Byzantine technicalities of the law, you will scream about bureaucracy. You will scream about how unfair this is. You don't even believe the stupid stuff you're saying with that little smirk on your face, like to try to win your argument.
And that's where I say that a lot of this is like just cruel, inhumane, just hatred towards an individual for whatever reason. There's no real rhyme or reason for it. It's just pure, hatred towards a group of people.
Yeah. And by the way, one more time, Mexican American voters, a lot of you voted for it. That just baffles me. Oh my God. It's like, wow. All right. Let's play. I don't even know what Jasmine said. So I'm curious what Jasmine said. You sent that to me and I haven't had time. For some reason, I haven't listened to it. So producer Chris, play Jasmine.
I know that there's been some conversations about what's going on in LA, and they want to say that it's riots because they didn't want people to keep talking about, say, the Epstein files or whatever other drama was popping off between the president and his little friend. So they wanted to change the conversation to immigration because they feel like, well, the polling is in our benefit. But let me tell you something. If they cared about making sure we were going to be fiscally responsible, they would tell the American people that it cost them $134 million to send the National Guard to LA for the quote unquote riots that the governor didn't ask for, nor did the mayor of LA ask for. And they sent them over there and they say that they care about our service members, yet they sent them and they were laying on the floor. They did not provide for food. So I don't know why we would believe that, number one, they want to fix this. They don't want to fix this because the brokenness is a feature, not a flaw of the system, because it is beneficial to them when it comes to campaigning.
Wow, that's sort of what you were saying. That's Jasmine Crockett from Texas, Congresswoman from Texas. And by the way, she started off just a snippet, and it tripped my wires. And I've been thinking about this for a while. I don't know if I said it on the mic. This is a great opportunity. So listeners to the show know that I follow Joe Rogan. and I follow Joe Rogan for several reasons. One, he's hugely popular, so I want to see what Americans are listening to. Two, I'm really just envious of the guy. He's built a he's the giant in this field that I'm in. He's really successful at it. I'm like, what can I learn from Joey? So I follow him, and so many people I know and like listen to him. I like my friends. I have a lot of friends. They go, did you hear what Rogan said? I go, you're triggering me because you didn't say Ben. I heard what you said. You listen to Rogan, but you don't listen to me. These are my freaking friends. Ben, did you hear what Rogan said?
Ben, I want you to know that as one of your friends, lifelong friends, well, maybe not lifelong, but very long friend,
maybe
long time friend. I listen to your show religiously. Okay.
That's my man right there. Okay. All the rest of you, Rogan. Did you hear what Rogan said? Did you listen to what Antonio said, Rogan? Anyway, so I'm listening to Joey, and coincidentally, so what triggered me was the Jasmine's reference to Epstein. So that's one of my obsessions. I've never really shared it with you, Antonio, like the Epstein files, what's in it, Jeffrey Epstein's file, who was complicit with him, who was part of his little sleazy endeavor. And I talk about it whenever the opportunity comes, because I think it's indicative of so much in our country, of phoniness and fraud, hypocrisy, et cetera, and so forth. So it's a big deal in Joey Rogan's universe. Like, he'll have people come on all the time and talk about what's in the Epstein files. In other words, supposedly the government files that tell you the truth, everything you need to know about Jeffrey Epstein and his connections. And so he has these people come on and they talk about it. They come up with their little theories. And most of them are like going after people like Clinton. Well, obviously he was involved in Jeffrey Epstein's universe. They talk about the theory that Jeffrey Epstein was somehow or other an agent of Mossad, the Israeli secret police, or the CIA of Israel, that supposedly he was using his influence over powerful people who he supplied with young women, young girls, to blackmail them. So there's all these theories that Joey entertains. So fast forward to the Thursday where Elon Musk drops that tweet where he's really mad at Donnie. And he goes, doing this off the top of my head, so I'm paraphrasing it. The real reason Donnie hasn't released the Epstein files is because he's in the Epstein files. Take that, Donald. He's so mad. And then that broke while Joe Rogan was interviewing. So I forget who he was interviewing. It was some doofus, who knows, in the MAGA world. And Joe Rogan, his response was, whoa, like, it's mind-blowing that Donald Trump would be in the Epstein files. Hello, Joe. They were pictured together. They were buddies. They were friends. And he goes, what they should do is take away his phone, meaning Elon Musk's phone, so he can't tweet out stuff. I'm like, what? That's censorship. Right. Wait, you want to take away his phone for suggesting what we probably all know, that Donnie's in the Epstein files, but you want him to get to keep his phone when he puts out the Nazi shit, when he puts out the white supremacist? Oh, keep the phone for that, but take it away. See, I'm like, come on, Roganites. Are you going to tell Joey? Are you going to just point out to your guy that he may be a little hypocritical there, Antonio?
The party that's for the First Amendment is all of a sudden trying to, censor somebody? What? No, get out of here.
Elon.
The party that's always talking about protecting children and protecting women and whatnot. Now all of a sudden they don't want to release what's in the files. I mean, what? No, get out of here. Yeah, no.
No, that is really, you're right. Yeah, take away his phone. What the take away his you're right.
But you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have to understand one thing, and that's that Trump, being from the TV universe, is used to like the rating style, right? He gets his thrills from ratings, from people watching, from people talking. He doesn't care about polls. He doesn't care about what anybody else is saying. the judges, and nobody. All he cares about is what his ratings are or what, you know, people are talking about. And once Democrats start to grab a hold of that and understand that a little bit better, they can start to, you know, combat that. Because right now everybody's like talking about polls and how his polls are down or up or whatever because of what he's doing. They're in the tank, actually. They're like way down his approval ratings. But you know, he doesn't care about that because he looks and sees that everybody's talking about him on both sides. You know, whether Democrat or liberal or Republican or whatever, he's being talked about, and that's what drives him, and that's what, you know, like, so all the stuff that he was doing, he hated that they were talking, that everybody was talking about the fight between him and his best buddy, right? And then when that Epstein tweet dropped, he really disliked the fact that they were focusing on that, and so he had to change the narrative. And how do you change the narrative? You create another, you know, chaos or
go after LA.
Yeah.
Just go round up a bunch of guys who did nothing wrong. Go to some kid's graduation and harass parents. That's what you do. That'll get people
and the right, you know, don't tread on me people. The right, you know, they're okay with it when it's somebody else, but when it's them, when it's happening, you know, when they feel like their Second Amendment rights are being taken away or whatever the case may be, all of a sudden, you know, the government is doing too much or out of control or whatever. But snatching people off the street is perfectly fine as long as it's not them.